All right, so as the Sharks preseason is concluded, it's time to preview the season that it will be starting in less than a week. The first game will be against the Winnipeg Jets at home. I will be going, so I'm happy about that. And yeah, let's talk about the Sharks. So obviously the Sharks are coming off a pretty lousy season. It wasn't our worst season, but it was definitely a season that was pretty negative in a lot of aspects, right? It was a shortened season, so in the extended playoffs, we had high hopes, right? Higher hopes than, the year before. Maybe not like, contender type expectations, but I thought the Sharks maybe could surprise some people, and unfortunately they really didn't. They had good stretches, they, had good moments, but I think this year they have to kind of show that they're progressing. And the Sharks are kind of admitted that they don't want to rebuild, which I think is a good mentality and a bad mentality. It's good because it shows that they're willing to try to contend year in and year out, but it's bad because progress might not be made on our roster. And the issue is, you look at teams that win the Stanley Cup, recently it's been the Lightning the last 2 years. They've had a good core, right? Their core has been strong. You have Stamkos, you have Hedman, you have other guys that Kucherov that have contributed, that have been there a long time and know each other. With the Sharks, it's a lot of youth, and the Sharks had a great core, right, of Burns and Pavelski and Couture and, Marleau, Thornton, right? The problem is those guys are either aging or are just simply not on the Sharks anymore. And so I think the Sharks have to work on developing a new core, which I think could very well start with a guy like Tomas Hertl. He's still semi-young, he has a lot of room to, grow and make this team better and be a leader. Logan Couture is very good. And I think also you look at the young guys. Dahlin is pretty good. The preseason's over. Dahlin looked good. William Eklund, who, we haven't really gotten word on whether or not he's going to start in the NHL level because, he did really good in the preseason, but we haven't really, they hinted at him starting here, but we haven't gotten a clear answer. But Eklund's been really good. And then there's other guys that contribute, game in and game out, like Timo Meier, obviously a very good player. Like the Sharks have good players. It's just the issue is they have to put them to good use, right? They have to be able to capitalize, and also the big issue has been goalie work and the goaltending. And you look at the goalies this year, it's completely different than last year. Last year, to start the season, the Sharks had Martin Jones, Devan Dubnyk, and then Kozhinaj and Melnichuk were the four. This year, it's James Reimer, Adin Hill, and Melnichuk. That's pretty much it. But Adin Hill has looked great in spring training, or in preseason. Sorry, he has looked great in preseason. Reimer hasn't done as good, but it's fine. We have preseason for a reason, and Reimer has still impressed me a lot more than a lot of other goalies that I've observed. Adin Hill's looked great though. His last game in the preseason, he shut out Vegas, which even in the preseason, that's still pretty impressive. So if I had to give a predicted record, which is pretty hard to do in hockey because there's a lot of games, but I'm gonna say the Sharks aren't the worst team. They certainly aren't the best. They're nowhere near the best, but they aren't the worst. There's gonna be teams below them. They're gonna win a chunk of games. They're not gonna be a contender. Heck, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I'm going to say they go 33, 39, and 10. And, also our division really isn't the hardest division because obviously there was a little bit of realignment that went on. Coyotes moved to the Central. Kraken moved to our division. We don't know how good the Kraken are going to be. They either, I feel like, could go, to the final or they could finish last. We have no idea. With the Kraken, Vegas will probably win the division, although they don't have Marc-Andre Fleury now, so things could get interesting. Then you have Edmonton, who obviously was a playoff team last year. Calgary is trying to get back over the hump. You have Vancouver, who has, coming off a down year. So it's a very interesting division, right? And then you obviously have the two other California teams, the LA Kings and Anaheim Ducks. And so I think the Sharks have capability to finish around the middle, heck, maybe even towards the top, but that would require a lot of endurance, of really trying hard and just perseverance as well. And so my predicted record is going to go 33, 39, and 10. I'm going to say the Sharks have a lot of overtime games, kind of like last year. Unfortunately, 10 of them will be losses, I say. But I think 33 wins is a fair number because, they're nowhere near the top, right? But they're definitely, I wouldn't say a bad team. I'd say they're very mediocre. They're very much in the middle. And we also going to need a big season from Erik Karlsson if we're going to at least try to contend. I think he has a lot of room to grow. I think he's looked pretty good in the preseason. He's coming off a slightly down year as well, and for that big contract, the expectation is that he's going to be playing at a very high level. But unfortunately, that's not really how it's been per se. But I think we're going to hopefully do better than last year, and then maybe next year do better than what I'm expecting. So, anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts on the Sharks preview, and I'll do one for the Warriors too when their preseason ends. But yeah, as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys later, and yeah, go Sharks.